give you a break because I can't imagine how difficult this is for you, but thank you so much, Lauren.
I don't know, like I'm not the best person, so she has no reason to.
Yeah.
She's a good person.
Yeah, she seems like it.
Why not?
Yeah.
Can somebody please explain to me why Faith was crying? So she decides to break up with Lauren. And don't get me wrong, breakups aren't always easy, especially sometimes even if you're the one that has to do the breaking up. It can be very challenging and it can definitely make you emotional if you feel like this is a very, very hard choice that you are making. But when it comes to Faith and Lauren, can somebody really tell me that it was a really hard choice for her to make to leave this man, given everything that he had told her and he had put her through? I don't really believe that. For me, it's like, are you crying because you know that your financial support system is now pretty much disappearing? And also on top of that, most of the time when she was crying, her face was dying anyway. I don't know where those tears come from. Maybe it's rehearsed. Maybe she's got a little tactic, but I ain't buying none of that nonsense. And then now we got Lauren over here. Look at him. Not even a single teardrop. Why are you upset? You're not even upset.
Oh, why are you crying?
Because I love her. What do you mean?
I don't know if he was trying to like go to the toilet or if he was really trying to force that extra tear. Well, the only tear that was never gonna come out. Let me try that again. Yeah, no, I mean, I can kind of feel my eye watering a little bit here. I can feel the pressure creating some sort of water residue. Is he really gonna create? Nah, it's not gonna do that. But at least now I know what he was trying to do. He was really trying to force one. With that face looking like he's just about to go to the toilet. If I was Vanya in this situation, I'd have been like, hey, do you need to pop off? Like, hey, do you need to like let loose of some gas or something? Because if you need to, let me bounce. Because what's this all about? I'm just saying.
I'm sorry, Lauren.
It's okay.
Listen, that's all I have to say when it comes to, you know, Faith and Lauren in this situation. Both of them, you know, well, he's blatantly, as you can see, has no tears whatsoever. He's just playing a character that's just not working because his acting abilities clearly aren't that great. He must think he's running for an Oscar or something, but trust me, buddy, you're not even near the most basic of acting awards. With that being said, with Faith again, her crying, yeah, that doesn't add up to me. Personally, I just think both of them are full of it. Simple as that. But nonetheless, though, we move on to the next couple.
Felt here in the last hour surpasses everything I felt in the last 2 weeks, whatever the hell it's been.
The way she's just standing there next to him is just so weird. You know, like are you trying to model next to him? Like, what's going on here? And I ain't gonna lie to you, when she first came on screen, I was questioning what her gender was personally. Just saying. But anyway, for me personally, with this woman right here, based on what is said next, I think that she was paid. She's a paid, what's the word? What's the political term for this? I don't know what it is, so I'm just going to say I just feel like she's an escort personally, but we continue.
Her that night in Brazil, and then she spent 2 to 3 days with me. So I don't know.
Did you have sex with her?
Yes.
This woman randomly appears out of nowhere, just like that. And don't get me wrong. I mean, I guess it's in Brazil. I've never been to Brazil, but I've always heard that when you're in Brazil, no matter where you turn, there are some beautiful women, no matter where you go. Some people even say that that is the place with the most beautiful women in the world. I don't know this because I've never been there. This is what some people say. But if that is allegedly true, maybe that's why he was able to just get up, go somewhere, and boom, bam, another one just turned up out of nowhere. But either way, it doesn't change the fact that I genuinely do believe that she was a rebound that he needed for his own sexual desires because he didn't get them from Ingrid, so therefore he was splashing the cash. I could be extremely wrong, but I'm just saying. Yeah. And the way she stood there next to him. Yeah, I've been told by the production team to just stand here next to him and just to look my best, so I can just show that he's been able to move on from Ingrid and he's upgraded to myself. Yeah, huh? The way she was just, And this is not an insult on the woman itself in particular. I'm just saying, the whole thing looks a bit fishy to me. But anyway, we move on to find that Brian ended up having a newer girlfriend instead.
said he felt more in 1 hour than he did the last few weeks.
I love that answer. I don't care. What's it got to do with me? If I cared, then I wouldn't have kicked him to the curb. This hotel part 4 was literally dog poop. I mean, honestly, the questions that were being asked, especially in Brian's segment, by the host, I'm thinking none of these things happen in real situations. Honestly, 90 Day is so far gone from reality, it is just disgusting to watch. But we're all stuck in the rabbit hole, aren't we now?
I'd like to introduce you to Ingrid, Brian's ex-girlfriend.
One of many.
Can you give Nati any advice on what it's like to date Brian?
I'm a bit confused here. How are we now on a stage where you're bringing someone in, he's got a new girlfriend, but now you're asking the old girlfriend to give the new girlfriend some advice, even though the new girlfriend didn't ask for no advice from the old girlfriend. And the old girlfriend didn't even ask to even want to have communication with the new girlfriend. Like, are they that... You know, they made this whole thing tell into a part 4, went from 2 parts to now 4 parts. And once you get past the first 2 episodes, the last 2 are usually just a bunch of gibberish or just fillers of nonsense. This is utterly nonsense. Why is this relevant? Why does it matter what an ex thinks about your new woman? And why would a new woman care about what your ex thinks? That doesn't happen. It happens maybe sometimes if it involves, like, maybe, well, it would never happen in this context ever, period. But it may be a situation where if you're co-parenting, it's important for so-and-so to meet your next person because they need to know who you're bringing to the child's life, which isn't even the case in their situation. Makes sense out of nonsense.
What did he lie about?
He going out with other girls. He told me he's a client, and I discovered his other situation.
To be honest with you, I don't even know if that's even... I mean, initially I'll be inclined to believe that this could be true, but I just feel like this is just add-on to their conversation.
Lied to her about being with another woman.
No.
Never. Have you and Nati been intimate yet?
We've been together, yes.
Okay.
Everything that comes after this, shut up.
How has sex been with Brian for you?
E que ele respeitou o tempo dela, né? Que ele não pressiona. Qual a diferença, então, que tem dela e de mim, Bra?
Situation, man. I mean, goodness. It's what's
I will say this though, right? Brian's response as well is a different situation. And to be honest with you, it is a different situation. I listen, this is why it can be sometimes pointless having conversations about your experience. That if you know somebody that's had an experience with somebody that you know, there's no point of, how can I put it? Okay. Look at it this way, okay? A man treats a woman based on how she presents herself. That is how a man treats a woman, okay, for the most part. So if Ingrid from the very get-go presented herself as somebody that was not easy, but presents herself as someone that is, you know, quite sexually motivated, you know what I mean? She likes that kind of stuff. That's what would normally give a guy, okay, a guy who's a logical thinker, who's got a brain cell, right? He'll be like, okay, cool. I understand that this is an energy. Energy is that she likes to be quite sexy with a lot of things. This is the vibe that she's continuously always giving me. So some men will lead by whatever she's going with. Remember, you have to remember this, right? Men have to behave based on how women present themselves. Yes, men can present themselves regardless of how the women present themselves. But if a man really wants to get that woman, he's better off going by how she's presenting herself, because the matter of the fact that at the very early stages, the women are the ones that lead where this is going to go. They lead if we're going to have sex. They lead if we're going to go on a date. They lead if we're going to go on another date. Okay, all right, at the very beginning, and then after that, then the man starts to lead of, okay, when am I going to make you official? When are we going to get married? When are we going to do this? You see what I'm saying? But the initial entry level part, the women lead that part. Okay, because the man is trying to get to know her pros and cons. But then also, there's also the other part where there's a lot of men who don't give a damn about letting the woman lead, and then that man would take charge, like, from the very get-go, in a way that usually makes women feel very uncomfortable because it makes them feel seen but unheard. Maybe even both, for that matter. I hope I'm making sense. Yeah. Point being is that whatever approach that he had for Natty, compared to what he had for Ingrid is based on how these women presenting themselves. If Natty came into the picture and she presented herself as somebody that is quite slow, preserved, and like to take a time with many things, that's how he's going to approach it, because that's how he's going to get her. He's not going to do any, if he tries to fast forward what she's not, he's going to lose her like that, okay? But if he's dealing with someone like Ingrid, okay, who may be a bit more forward, a bit more confident, a bit out there with the sex talk and loves to flirt in that way, okay? Then he's going to obviously think, oh, damn, okay. We're going to go with this energy then, you know what I'm saying? And that's how it works, all right? And to be fair, I would sit here and say that Ingrid probably did give him that vibe. I mean, the girl was more than happy to do certain things. I mean, get changed and wear this, da-da-da. You see what I'm saying? But I will say this, though. Ingrid was never, ever, ever in the wrong to say to him, no, we cannot have sex. She was never in the wrong for that. Because at the end of the day, it is up to her whether she wants to be intimate with someone or not. Point blank, period. But her actions building up to it, they could have been very misleading because of the energy that she was giving out, that he was just trying to play too. Now, bear in mind, this isn't a bad thing when men do this, because when men do this, there's some men that do it because they genuinely want to see, okay, how can I win you over so I can make you mine? Some men, on the other hand, they do it because they're like, okay, how can I win you over so I can bed you? So I guess it's the luck of the pot, really and truly, right? But again, it's whatever. Either way, though, that's where I believe is the situation in this situation, and that's why his approach with Nat is different to his approach with Ingrid. And therefore, I just think, to be honest with you, Ingrid really needs to look at her behavior throughout those events as well as Brian's. We all know where Brian went wrong, but she needs to figure out where she went wrong too, because she can't keep doing it. I mean, if she wants a man to stay, she can't keep doing it, because evidently she hasn't had a man to stay. So far, she's got 2 kids with 2 baby daddies.
What's with one is different with the other. Maybe she's more willing than I am.
Saying rush. And that you were...
No, definitely not. Definitely married that has 2 babies by 2 fathers. Why did 2 daddies leave you before the baby was 1? That doesn't normally happen. And something's wrong. Something happened. You scared the out of him.
Now, I will say this. Nothing that I said was in defense of Brian in any shape or form. Just explain the differences, okay? Of why he decided to do it differently, or why I believe he did. But yeah, listen, to be honest with you, I do feel like there's obviously fault on Ingrid's side in terms of how maybe she does present herself to men, and maybe these are the reasons why she is a single mother of 2 kids. And by the sounds of it, she met 2 guys, got pregnant straight off the bat, and those guys run away before the kids were even 1, that's a crazy pattern. Crazy pattern. If that's happening to you, you got to look at what you're doing wrong. Okay, what you can do better. Not what you're doing wrong, but what you can do better, or what can you change, all right? It's the same for Vanya. She needs to look at a whole lot of things, because, boy, accountability is not her friend. Vanya is all about main character syndrome, you know what I mean? Like, I am who I am, I like myself. Okay, calm down. But what about, other things that matter? Look at the pattern in your life. You're allowing patterns to happen. History, okay? There is a mistake and then there's history. History is literally a chain of a pattern of things that have happened. A mistake that you make today is a mistake that you can fix for but if you repeat that mistake time and time again, that mistake becomes history. This is a history of a log, okay? It's like a coal log. You go through the coal log, go through someone's history. In your computer, you click in history, shows you everything. Coal log shows you everything. Do you see what I'm saying? It's easy to blame the other person. Always easy is. But just because somebody else did you wrong, it doesn't mean that there's things that you could do better for your next situation. Nonetheless, though, let's move on to the next one.
Some intimacy with Stephanie.
Didn't she say that you guys hooked up? Hooked up means what, sex?
You told her just a kiss, but not just a kiss.
No, he never told me he kissed her.
It's not looking good, Joey. Not looking good.
So long ago. We never dated or anything, so she wasn't an ex-girlfriend. It wasn't hard to tell Magna that. It's just hard to keep harping on something that's, not relevant to me.
To be honest with you, if that's the reason he wants to go with, that's a poor reason. Personally, for me, I would have thought that the real reason would have been because Magna hasn't exactly made it easy for him to be truthful, because when she requests certain things, the energy that she gives off is quite aggressive. You know what I mean? And nobody wants to be around that type of energy. It's going to be very hard for anyone to be open around somebody that gives you energy of where you don't feel like they're going to be understanding, where you feel like they're just going to judge you rather than actually understand or whatever it could be. I just feel like for people to be truthful, the person that you're being truthful to needs to make sure that you feel safe that you can be truthful, if that makes sense. But then at the same time, though, I would also argue just because somebody doesn't make you feel safe to be truthful, you should still be truthful regardless, because at least when you're truthful, at least that will reveal whether that person is good for you or not. So yeah, you should be truthful regardless, to be honest. Whether that person makes you feel okay about it or not, be truthful regardless, because if they're gonna, however they react to the truth, it's gonna determine whether or not these are people that need to be in your life. And that's just that.
It's not something that
She should know, even though it's irrelevant to you today, it is part of your past, and she should have been aware of that.
I'm not gonna lie to you, I do agree with that. I do agree with that. But, you know what? Because obviously these women are still in Joey's present, I agree that it would be quite crucial for them to know this about his past. The question is, though, is it that deep to be known? I guess that's subjective, depending on the person. Some people really want to know these things, and some people don't want to know these things, because sometimes what you know isn't always worth knowing. Sometimes you don't always have to know everything. So there is no right or wrong, really and truly, about whether Magda should know or not. It just comes down to what she can stomach. I think the main thing that matters is that when did it happen, and is it still happening? Do you see what I'm saying? And this happened a long time ago, and it's not happening. So yeah. But I guess you got to ask the questions to know these things. Do you know what? I just don't put myself in these type of situations. So yeah, it is what it is.
So, Joey, you had sex with Stephanie and Jill.
correct. Oh dear.
I'm just sad he didn't tell me that, because I trust him 100%. His life, I want him to be happy, be with his friends. I just need to know. That's it. Just tell me.
Well, I just hope that moving forward, that if she ever wants him to tell her anything, then she should make sure that she makes him feel confident to do it. But at the same time, see, this is where it becomes. But at the same time, if he doesn't feel confident to tell her certain things, then he shouldn't be with her. I'm just repeating myself. My bad.
I don't think he's actually ready for marriage, but he needs to, like, explain that to his girl. As far as I can tell, Joey, I mean, he's actually hurting someone. Rected.
Imagine Lauren giving advice on your situation.
He literally lied. He shut down. He's supposed to be a man. He's being...
Listen, if you ask me personally, Lauren's just upset that he lost his woman and Joey still got his. It's that simple. Lauren's acting as if like Joey's the one that caught an STD and gave, and got gonorrhea. Lauren's acting as if he's the one that was sleeping around with as if Joey was the one sleeping around with multiple people. I'm sorry, Lauren, but didn't you literally try and propose? Didn't you literally propose to Faith knowing that you had slept with so many people before that? Yeah, and you're trying to say that Joey isn't ready? Okay, yeah, sure. Whatever you say, buddy. Nonetheless, though, let me know your thoughts down below and we'll talk about it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course, peace.